The Imitation of Christ, chapter 16, on bearing with the faults of others. Whatever a man is unable to correct in himself or in others, he should bear patiently until God ordains otherwise. Consider, it is perhaps better thus, for the testing of our patience, without which our merits are of little worth. Whenever such obstacles confront you, pray to God that He may grant you His help and give you grace to endure them in good heart. Matthew 6:13. If anyone who has been once or twice warned remains obdurate, do not argue with him, but commit all things to God, and that His will may be done, and His name hallowed in all His servants. For He knows well how to bring good out of evil. Genesis 1:20. Strive to be patient, bear with the faults and frailties of others, for you too have many faults which others have to bear. If you can't mold yourself as you would wish, how can you expect other people to be entirely to your liking? For we require other people to be perfect, but do not correct our own faults. We wish to see others severely reprimanded, yet we are unwilling to be corrected ourselves. We wish to restrict the liberty of others, but are not willing to be denied anything ourselves. We wish others to be bound by rules, yet we will not let ourselves be bound. It is amply evident, therefore, that we seldom consider our neighbor in the same light as ourselves. Yet, if all men were perfect, what should we have to bear with in others for Christ's sake? Now, God has thus ordered things that we may learn to bear one another's burdens. Galatians chapter 6, verse 2. For there is no man without his faults, none without his burden. Galatians 6, 5. None is sufficient in himself. 2 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 5. None is wise in himself. Proverbs 3, 7. Therefore, we must support one another. Colossians chapter 3, verse 13. Comfort. Colossians 3:13. Help, teach, and advise one another. Times of trouble best discover the true worth of a man. They do not weaken him, but show his true nature. Chapter 17 on the monastic life. If you wish to live in peace and harmony with others, you must learn to discipline yourself in many ways. It is not easy to live in a religious community and remain there without fault. Philippians 3:6. Persevering faithfully until death. Revelation chapter 2, verse 10. Blessed is he who has thus lived happily and well to the end. If you wish to achieve stability and grow in grace, remember always that you are an exile and pilgrim on this earth. 1 Peter 2:11, Hebrews 11:13. Be content to be accounted a fool for Christ's sake. 1 Corinthians 4:10. If you wish to be a religious, the habit and unsure by themselves are of small significance. It is the transformation of one's way of life and the complete mortification of the passions that make a true religious. He who seeks in this life anything but God alone and the salvation of his soul will find nothing but trouble and grief. Ecclesiasticus 1:17 and Ecclesiastes 1:18. Nor can any remain long at peace who does not strive to be the least. Luke 22, verse 26. And servant of all. 1 Peter 2:13. You have come here to serve, not to rule. Remember that you are called to labor and endurance, not to pass your time in idleness and gossip, but in this life men are tried like gold in the furnace. Wisdom 3:6. No one can remain here unless he is ready to humble himself with all his heart for love of God.